this is Tyler with MCC. I'm here with Jacob and Cam and their EK Civics. This is part one of a two-part episode. Today we're going to interview Jacob and this sweet 800 horsepower EK Civic hatchback. And he's coming around one more time. All right, so walk me through the engine and everything you've built on this thing.
Yeah, so this has a Ramey Racing built 1,000 horsepower block.
Okay.
CGR spec B18C head, and then a built GearX transmission.
Okay.
So setup's good for 800 to 1,000. It made 787.
800.
800.
We'll round up.
To the wheel on the dyno. It's made 810 spinning on the dyno once before.
And what was that? What was your boost when you were doing those?
Just under 30 pounds. It made about 28 pounds.
And then what are you running now?
Right now it's 12 to 15.
Okay.
Kind of depending on the gear. So
all right.
Keep it streetable.
And then what kind of turbo do you have on it?
It's Speed Factory turbo manifold top mount with a Precision 6466. And the infamous T51R whistle.
Where did you get the car? So was it stock when you bought it, or
no? So this I bought it from my buddy Garrett a few years ago, and he had it turbo B series, and it just
different B series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a different setup entirely, and I didn't love it, but it did its job, and that thing ripped, and we beat the crap out of it, and it loved it, it lived for it, and then I've just been slowly changing everything. And
so what's left? Is there anything else you're gonna do to it, or
no?
No, this is the way it'll live.
Yeah, I want to do cosmetic. I want the body to be nice. And,
yeah, we talked about that in the driving interview. Like, you want to kind of clean up a little bit of the interior and just make it like the cleanest one you can find.
Yeah, I think the combination with engine, trans, everything is where I want it to be. Powers plenty.
Yeah,
I've never even turned it up to 800
dude,
on the
that
street.
pull we did, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh my God!
Yeah, not too bad.
I did not expect that, dude. Oh my God!
That window wasn't heavy.
Holy shit. So you're literally like letting the turbo spool up.
Yeah, you hit the brakes and hit the gas, and like that was probably 10 pounds. And then it just...
Damn, dude, this thing just wants to break free too.
Yeah, yeah. That's why the boost by gear helps.
Yeah. Holy shit. I like that. Yeah, you see it?
And that was on like 17 pounds, 18 pounds, something like that. So
the way it like wanted to shift lanes each way and just go at the same time was I've never experienced that.
Yeah,
I've never done a pull in a front wheel drive car with anything over 200 and what's my Accord, 285?
yeah, and that, like I said, that was a baby pull. This thing, I've never turned it up because it scares the shit out of me, and I've owned this thing for 5 years.
How do guys run like 1,000 horsepower and then do like a full pull in these?
Yeah, I don't know. With my new trans, I should be able to do around 155 in fourth gear, and I don't even think I've grabbed fourth yet during a pull. So she's a street eater for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny how much lower you sit.
Oh yeah.
Like true bucket seat versus the original, because we're almost the same height. We're pretty much the same height.
Yeah.
And now I look really tall.
Yeah. It had WRX seats in it when I got it.
Okay.
And they were so, I mean, like my head hit the roof. I was like,
really?
These gotta go.
Why a B series motor over any of the other Honda series motors?
I just love them. I think they're legendary. You know, okay. I enjoy how they look in the bays too. Like they look how they should. You know?
Right.
I'm not knocking the K series by any means. Like there's been a lot of times I've like
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's got Speed Factory, like L19 head studs. Like it's,
oh my god.
The only thing it's not an aluminum rod. It's still a steel rod engine. So, because the aluminum rod's just not streetable. And I wanted to make this car drivable, you know.
What changes like that makes it not streetable with an aluminum rod?
You change it very often.
Oh.
Yeah, some people say you make like, you know, whatever the number is.
Oh, because they wear out more frequently.
They're wearable. And so you'll see a lot of these super, super high-end built motors with aluminum rods, and they chuck rods out the block.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, I can't afford that.
No.
I can't afford this one as it is, you know.
So the only argument to go to a K series for you would be just easier to source an engine.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they make really good power stock. I mean, people turbo stock motor all day.
Yeah. Why? Like, what's the difference between the B and the K series that makes them easier to just the way they're built? Or?
Yes, yeah. More modern. I don't know.
Yeah.
Technology.
More modern steel technology.
Yeah, their bottom ends are a little better too. People make 600 horsepower on the stock bottom end.
Yeah.
I don't know for how long, but they do.
Right.
Versus like these, like my motor, so it's had the factory sleeves cut out because they're prone to cracking over a certain power, and so now it's closed deck block, sleeve with O-rings and everything. So it's,
man, you've done a lot of work to this thing, huh?
Yeah, it's.
You said you're married, right?
Yeah.
How does your wife feel about this car? Does she like it?
Yeah, she's super supportive with it. She just hates the car. Like she doesn't like to ride in it. She doesn't like the feeling of the boost.
Yeah. Does it just scare her? Or?
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary to be in a car that is.
I've rode passenger in this car with one of my buddies driving it, and I got scared. I was like, all right.
It's very different when you're driving versus being a passenger in anything. Like it doesn't matter.
And like I'm not a real comfortable passenger driver, so I'm really mindful of that when I have a passenger because like I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
You know, the trust that you have to have.
That's my spiel every time I go out. I'm like, listen, if you would do this by yourself, cut that in half, or cut it down to 60% of what you would do by yourself. It'd make me feel better.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy that how much work you do yourself with this, and you built Cam's entire car.
Yeah.
How did you meet Cam?
I've known him since high school.
Okay.
He was into Hondas too. I think between me and him, we've got to be close to 70 Hondas between the both of us.
70?
Yeah. Because I've owned almost 30. He's got me beat by a few. So yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You guys are true Honda boys then.
Yeah. I'm not saying any of them were real nice.
No, but
we've had a couple nice ones.
Right, like these are really nice.
Yeah.
And even if these were the only nice ones you've had, you've still have torn down and gone through tons of Hondas. And he's just a lucky SOB. He just gets the mechanically inclined friend that builds him out a sweet engine.
Yeah, it's funny. He's like when I do the interview, he's like, you're gonna have to put me a list of all the stuff you did in my car.
We'll just reference back to this.
Right, yeah.
So what did you do to Cam's car?
Yeah. Everything, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Now his is a pretty similar build to this.
Okay.
Like this motor's bored over a lot. It's 84.5 millimeters, which is like basically like a 2-liter. I don't know what it exactly maps out to be, but a little over 2-liter maybe. And his is 81.5, so it's barely bored over stock.
Gotcha.
But his has been CSS'd, so it's closed neck without sleeves.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, his is built too. We actually had aftermarket cams in his, and they were too aggressive on the dyno. Like, it did not want to change over into VTEC, and it was
really
crazy. So on the dyno, we took his aggressive cams out and put stock cams in on the dyno. It was like somebody happened to have a set down there that sold him a good deal. I was like, this is crazy.
It was time to build his motor. Did you take any liberties of like, this is how I want to build it?
Yeah. That's
since I'm building it,
right.
Like you might be buying the parts, but I'm gonna build this the way like if I want to build a different motor just to see what it could do.
Yeah. Well, and like I do a lot of stuff for people, and so if I'm going to put my name on something, I want it to be at least decent.
Yeah, I didn't realize how involved you were with Hondas. And, I mean, I don't know anything about you. We just met at a Cars and Coffee in what, February or January, and I saw the hoods up on these, and I was like, oh, these are sick.
No, we're in it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say I'm a Honda enthusiast. You are a Honda professional.
I do transmissions on them all the time.
Seriously?
Short blocks, long blocks.
Do you have like a garage at your house where you just do all this shit? Or
I do just my normal garage,
That's wild. I don't know why that's so crazy to me, but like that scares the shit out of me to think about going and doing that.
Yeah, no, I just did it. I just went for it. Like my first transmission I ever pulled apart, I was like, this is terrifying. And now I yank them out. And like this one, I recently blew up the second gear hub. So like it wouldn't go to second, wouldn't go to third. I basically destroyed the inner parts of the transmission without hurting the gears. So I got really lucky. I had to pull the transmission out, tear it apart, and then I slapped it all back together. I had it tore apart, put back in the car in 3 hours on Saturday.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Do you ever get really discouraged when you break something?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This
Does it haunt you at night when you're like, until you fix it, you're like, can't stop thinking about needing to fix that part?
Yeah, this thing loves my credit card. So it's like when it's broken, it's like, oh man, I hate that car. But like when it's running and driving, I'm like, I love this car. Like I wouldn't want anything else. And like all the times that I've wanted to maybe sell the car or get something different.
Right.
I love the chassis, like the EK platforms.
Yep.
It's like I would probably just buy another one. I would want a white one, and this one's already got like power windows.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff that I would want to do to it.
Right.
So it's like I would just build the same car. So it's like, what would be the point?
Right.
And so that's what keeps me from selling it, really.
That's funny. No, that's awesome. I mean, they are an iconic car. Like Civics in general.
Yeah.
You think about muscle cars in the 60s, it's like an easily modified car. You could create a drag car out of. These have become that.
You're right.
Affordable. Well, they used to be affordable.
Yeah.
They were affordable cars you could take and modify and break, and they were fixable. And you could tinker with and like figure out how to get more power out of it, or it was just a good platform. And they still are. Now they're just not cheap.
Yeah, and they're so, and you can modify them any which way. You know, if you want to be one of the stance boys, or you want to go fast.
Yep.
Like me, what I wanted to do with this is full street car, like full interior. Have it fast, but have it reliable. You know.
Yeah.
I wanted all the good stuff with it.
Yep.
And then now I'm working on making it, pretty too. Like it's not an ugly car by any means, but it's not.
It's not how you want it.
Up to what I want.
Right. Right. I feel like every car guy's like that.
Yeah, it's funny because people look at this car and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so clean, it's so cool," and I look at it and I'm like, "I hate this."
Yes.
It's like,
yep.
I look at every single dent, scratch, ding. It's like.
But I think in the Civic world, compared to 99% of what's out there, this is probably like the cleanest one most people have ever seen.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about last night. It's like, it's like I keep telling myself like, you got to look around and see everybody else's. It's like,
so maybe it's not the cleanest white hatchback out there, but for a Civic, it's like gotta be it's the cleanest one I've ever seen. I just love that you have the roll cage in here and then still have the back seat. Have you put anybody back there?
Oh yeah, I used to. We fostered my 3 youngest siblings.
Okay.
For a little over a year, and I'd pick one from school in it. They'd sit in the back, and they'd hold onto the cage and buckle up.
Oh, they got the little handle here.
Yeah.
That's sick. Man, that'd be a sweet way to get picked up by your sibling at school.
Yeah, my little brother one time, I don't know what he was doing, but the car had a weird issue for a short period of time where it would like kind of just buck randomly, and it would literally like shut the car off. It was just and one time he was riding in the back, and he's probably 7 at the time, and it did that. It's all and he's all ding, and banged his forehead on the bar.
Like smoked it right off the bar.
Yeah. I was like, that is incredible. My little sister, she loves it. She gets the speed giggles, you know. I'd get into like a little bit of boost. And the giggles would just come out like she couldn't help it.
That's awesome.
I love it. hatches don't, because they only came like super base model.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. And this car's got the dark gray interior versus Cameron's has the light gray.
Yep.
And personally, I think the dark gray is better. Like I prefer it. And then I did a carpet kit, so it's all black like this.
Yeah, it's nicer with the darker gray if you're gonna change a seat out like that.
Yeah.
Is that a thing to do one seat instead of both up front?
They're just so expensive.
Because they're so expensive.
Yeah. With my seat, the bracket, I did like a couple of accessory things. It was $1,800.
Damn. Yeah. So why do two when you're the one driving it? Yeah. Have you done any brake upgrades to it or anything? Or is it all OEM?
Yeah. Well, no, it's got like drilled and slotted.
Okay.
In the back, it's got slotted up front. It's on the bigger, because there's 2 brake sizes you can get on these. It's on the bigger option.
Okay.
I've got special pads up front.
Nice. I guess you really want to make sure you have that when you're.
Yeah, there's been a couple times that I
seconds in a
I hit brake fade.
Oh my god.
Because I brake boost this thing, so I'll spool it up on the brakes, and
what does that mean? Wait,
I overheat. You'll see. We'll do it. But I got the brakes so hot that we did the pull with these guys, and there was 4 cars in front of us, but they were ways in front of us. So we did this pull, and I'm going. I'm like, okay, cool. I let off, go to hit the brakes. They weren't there. The pedal went to the floor. There's again 4 cars in front of me blocking every single lane. I'm freaking pumping the brakes fast again. I'm probably doing $130.
Holy smokes!
With no brakes. And then they all start slowing down because they're going to do a pull. And I was like, oh no. And I literally was pumping it. I don't remember if I grabbed my freaking e-brake and downshifted. I was trying to do everything I could. And I ended up having to swerve over into the
breakdown lane?
Yeah.
That's scary, huh?
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Love of Hondas. You've owned a few of them.
Yep.
Why the EK in general? And
I love EKs.
Okay.
You were asking Cameron what his top 3 cars
yeah,
are.
I was going to get to that. Yeah, so
mine would be 3 EKs.
3 EKs
and an FL5.
And an FL5. Okay, I'll give you the 4th.
Yeah.
So what would you have all hatches, or would you do?
I love the hatch. I do hatch and coupe.
A hatch and a coupe.
Yeah, I've actually owned multiples at a time. Like I had a black coupe, and then my white hatch, and this was the turd, and the black one was the daily.
Yeah.
That black one was kind of rough too, but no, I just love them. I remember being in high school, and my buddy had a turbo EK coupe, and he just flew by me one day, and I was like, I need that in my life.
Yeah,
and ever since then, I was like, I want a turbo white EK. Mm-hmm. And then my buddy had this, and he owned it for a while, and decided that he wanted to get rid of it, and I was like, I need this car. Like this is everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah, 100%.
The bay being painted was a huge plus. Like this thing is beautiful under here.
Yes, definitely. It definitely is.
I've done my own touches.
What are, like, specifically with this car, a couple things you love and hate about it from your experience with it?
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yep.
I love to hate it.
Yeah.
It like Cam said, everything's beautiful until you own it.
Yeah.
So I pick it apart.
Yeah, every day.
Entirely. You can't expect too much from a.
Just got a friend cruising by.
Yeah, you can't expect too much from a, 800 horsepower street car.
Right.
But like the rattles drive me crazy, so I've been trying to fix rattles, and I want it to drive nice. I do drive it basically every day that's dry.
Right.
And not 106 out.
That's crazy that you drive this that much.
Yeah. Yeah, she's sitting like just over 3,000 miles right now. Had the maintenance light come on the dash for the first time since I've owned it for 5 years.
That's because it knew you were coming here today.
Yeah.
So you've built a lot of motors, and you do a ton of the work yourself on this car. And what advice would you give for somebody like that's getting into Hondas or wants to get into Hondas?
Yeah.
Because these are resurging with younger kids too in general.
Yeah. I tell them not to.
It's funny. Chris with the RX-7 said the same thing. Don't.
I wouldn't go to my extent. Cameron's is perfect, and our buddy Brent's his is perfect because you just keep them basic and
right.
And they live forever, and they're fast, and they're
a little
fun.
bit more reliable, but still really fast.
This thing's a little over the top.
Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable daily driver, but
right.
it's where I want it. It's where I like it.
Hey, this is Tyler with MCC. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. And if you want to see more on Cam and Jake's cars, let us know in the comments. And maybe we'll do an episode on this Moto Compacto because it's really fast. Whee!